Happy International Women's Day. This is part 3 to the Isis-Osiris myth, how it connects to my own story and the divine feminine and birthing a new earth. It's a lot going on, so go watch parts 1 and 2 if you haven't done so already. So now I'm going to start trying to connect that myth to my personal story. Alright, so as I already mentioned in the previous videos, this ancient story is one of the earliest blueprints for the hero's journey, specifically focusing on healing, resurrection, and the reclaiming of royal inheritance. So in connection to my personal journey, this myth, this story, isn't just a story. It is the spiritual architecture of how I moved from being dismembered by my past to being reborn in my truth. So to understand the connection, we have to look at what these figures symbolize psychologically and spiritually. So Osiris represents the natural order, peace, and the original blueprint of my soul. In my story, Osiris is the little girl who loved to get dolled up, the one who was confident and happy before the trauma. Set, in my case, is the father figure, and the mother, I guess, who killed the version of me and scattered my confidence into pieces through abuse and teasing. So actually, Set, I would be my entire family. The majority of them, anyway. So Set is the god of chaos, storms, and desert. He kills his brother Osiris out of jealousy and a desire for control. In my story, Set, again, represents my father and the family members who silenced me. Just as Set tried to maintain his rule by destroying the true king, my family tried to maintain their reputation by destroying my truth. Set thrives in the desert, a place where nothing grows and everything is dry and silent. In the myth, Isis is the devoted wife of Osiris. When he is murdered and his body is scattered, she refuses to accept his death. She travels the world to find every piece of him to put him back together. In my story, I am Isis. I am the one who went on the soul-searching journey to find the scattered pieces of my identity. Every time I reclaimed a memory, spoke a truth, or put on my makeup, despite of their teasing, I was finding a piece of Osiris and bringing myself back to wholeness. Now, Horus is the child of Isis and Osiris, born after Osiris was murdered. He has the Eye of Horus, which is the all-seeing eye, and eventually defeats Set to reclaim the throne. In my story, Horus is my voice and my social media truth. Horus is the new earth version of me that found God and has the vision to see through the lies and the manipulation. Horus doesn't just survive, he wins the throne and establishes a new righteous kingdom. The most famous part of the myth is when Set cuts Osiris into 14 pieces and scatters them across Egypt. This is exactly what trauma does. It fragments our personality. I forgot who I was. I felt disconnected from my soulmate and myself. I was scattered. The remembrance. The word remember literally means to put the members or parts back together. By going no contact and finding God in myself, I performed the rite of Isis. I gathered my strength, my beauty, and my history, and I breathed life back into my own soul. In the myth, Set tried to swap the destiny of Egypt from one of fertility, Osiris, to one of chaos, Set. My parents tried to swap my destiny of light and expression for a destiny of shame and silence. In the myth, Isis hides Horus in the marshes to protect him until he is strong enough to fight. My period of no contact was my time in the marshes, protecting my new self until I was strong enough to face the Set in my life and say, you no longer have power here. So in the myth, Set murders Osiris. In my journey, the abuse and the consistent teasing killed my childhood joy and confidence. In the myth, Isis searches for the pieces. In my journey, I went on a soul-searching journey to find healing. In the myth, Isis uses magic and breath to revive Osiris. In my life journey, my faith in God and my voice was reviving my soul. In the myth, Horus defeats Set. In my life journey, that was me blocking my parents and posting my truth publicly. In the myth, Horus gains the Eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye. In my life journey, I also gained the ability to see through the lies and the manipulation, and now I'm using that to help others. All right, so we're going to move to part 4. I'm going to continue kind of breaking down the myth and how it kind of applies with birthing this new earth where the divine feminine is rising again. So yeah, meet me there.